Oh, we got Joe hiding down there. It kind of threw me off there for a second. I hope everybody always knows that that's me in the background snapping every single time. What's happening? It's Dash of DFS. It's week 6 already, man. That means we're already almost halfway there. It's already starting to get too close. I'm getting already sad about it. But it also makes me excited because it's almost dynasty season, which is my favorite time of year is right after the NFL season stops. I get pretty excited. But enough about that. With me, I got down below me, I got my man Joe. Joe, how we doing this evening? What was the look right there?
I couldn't sell that Taylor Swift is now part of the Toilets for Titles team.
Yeah, like Taylor Swift is now here with us, but you have to talk like her for the rest of the show. So that's going to be the real challenge there, bud.
That goes back to the episode we're supposed to do as a musical, right? We're going to have this production is growing. Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, week 6, and it's been crazy. We got a hell of a slate of games coming up this weekend too. Obviously, Buffalo, Kansas City right off the bat, but then you got Dallas, Philly on Monday night. So as Kevin Hart used to say, we're going to learn today. We're going to learn this week, I think, a lot about a lot of teams, how real and maybe how potentially fake some of these teams are. And forget about all of that. We have Buffalo, Kansas City, which should probably be the game of the year.
Yeah, I have that game projected to go I'm going to bet the over, which I believe is at 1,000 right now, because I think there's going to be so many touchdowns in this game because these guys, I know for a fact Josh Allen hasn't thought about anything else for about 11 months that besides that one last play that just never got to happen. So I'm just sure of it. So I think we're going to see some fireworks. On my left, we got my man, Jeff. How we doing this evening, man?
Hey, mashed potatoes and gravy over here in Surfside Beach, Mikey. I want nothing to do with Taylor Swift as part of this broadcast, but we'll stick to football and we'll get things rolling week 6. It's definitely, as always, it's an exciting kind of lineup each week, and there's always some great matchups. Obviously, Buffalo, Kansas City, but we got some other ones too. They're going to be fun to get into, so I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. I'm not even sure what genre Taylor Swift is anymore. I thought she was country. I thought she was pop. I thought she was something else. The fact of the matter is I've never been a big fan or never really listened too much to her. So I'm probably going to continue to keep it that way. But we'll go ahead and get this started. Always with the little housekeeping stuff. Make sure you guys are on there following us everywhere.
You can follow I know every Taylor Swift song like I know Pearl Jam.
Oh man, you're gonna have to bust one out for us tomorrow on the Blitz for sure. Oh yeah, that's right. You're not gonna be there tomorrow. I forget. We're not gonna have you there, so you'll have to sing that tonight. Make sure you get on titles.com. We got the best videos, articles, and the best NFL and fantasy advice content. Some of the best access to the best guys in there. You're definitely gonna want to get on our Discord. Or not on our Discord, but on our Patreon at patreon.com/titles. There's so many cool tiers. There's so many different ways you can get in there. Some of the best parts about it are when you can get into the Frankenstein, because I'm telling you, Frankenstein's in full effect right now. And oh my God, man, what a tough league. What a league that makes you want to pull your hair out at every given second. I don't care if I'm winning in DFS almost anymore. I go to my Frankenstein first and see if I won that one. Because you lose players, man, and that sucks when you got to lose one of your studs when you lose by like 0.7, like I did a couple of weeks ago. Gotta love it. But we'll go ahead and get this kicked off, guys. I'm going to go ahead and start off with talking about our fades of the week. Now, my first fade of the week that I have is going to be at quarterback, and it was really, really hard for me to get a quarterback that's actually able to fade this week because they all have really good matchups. It looks like it should be a feast on points all over the place. But the one guy who really has been like letting me down and really not doing anything, even though he's been throwing to Cooper Kupp a lot, is Matt Stafford. Now, so I'm going to be avoiding Matt Stafford. I don't really like that Rams offense. Now, maybe this will be the weekend they decide they want to go ahead and gel. This might be the weekend they decide that they're going to go ahead and start putting the football in the end zone a little bit more. Show Odell Beckham that he has a place to go that doesn't suck, because right now I think it's hard to convince anybody that that's the type of offense you want to be on. So I'm fading Matt Stafford. Another guy that I have that's kind of higher up His Marquis Brown. He's playing Seattle, and Seattle has been pretty easy to beat up on. But it's more been happening on the ground than in the air. Seattle's actually had a pretty formidable defense against the pass. I don't really think Marquis Brown, who's had a pretty good season, who I've been talking trash on all offseason, which I've got to apologize to that man. He's definitely proved me wrong. He showed me that he is more than capable to catch the ball. Something about him and Lamar Jackson, just that guy could not put the ball in his hands. But you're starting to kind of see it with other receivers with Lamar Jackson. So maybe it's Lamar Jackson's issue because Marquise Brown is really looking quite formidable. But we'll go with you, Joe. Who's the guys that you're fading this week?
Yeah, you make some good points. There are a lot of juicy matchups in that main slate quarterback wise. It was kind of like, all right, crack the knuckles and say, which one of these guys do I get to go with this week? So I was looking more, there were some running backs at the top of the heap that kind of scared me, right off the bat. Christian McCaffrey, 8,300 on DraftKings at the Rams. The Rams are already the number one ranked run defense, but they need wins at this point. They're not playing well. This is one of those juicy get right type games, getting Carolina at home. So I'm not loving McCaffrey for 8,300. And I'll say another one too, as much as I've absolutely loved Nicky Chubb this year, he's been unstoppable pretty much every single game this season. If there is a game where he's not worth 8,200 on DraftKings, I'm going to say it's this week. They're playing the Patriots. The Patriots have proven to be a lot of things. They've proven to be not a lot of things, but they do have a solid run defense. So I'm not sure at the top this week if McCaffrey and Chubb are worth their price based on the matchup. So I'm probably going to get a little more value with my running back picks this week than I normally would. Jeffrey?
Well, I'm going to start with a probably very unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it anyways. I'm going to fade Patrick Mahomes at Buffalo at 8,600. And I get it. This is supposed to be the game of the year, and the over-under is the highest of the week, and this, that, and the other thing. And I understand what happened last year, but this is in Buffalo. Buffalo has not forgotten what has happened last year. Buffalo has a second-ranked passing defense, a much better defense than they've had in the past. And I just think that Josh Allen and the crew is going to, stay out there in the field a long time, make the Kansas City defense work, not give Patrick Mahomes much time on the field. And I just think in this matchup in Buffalo, it's going to be a tough go, more for Mahomes than obviously not that I don't like the game, because I think Allen and crew is going to put up a lot. I just think that Kansas City is not going to be able to keep up. Again, could be a very unpopular opinion. The other one I have to say, and I'm sticking with kind of what Mikey said as far as the Rams-Carolina game, and I agree that if there's a game to get right in, Stafford can get right against Carolina, that's for sure. And what's been a big disappointment this year is we saw a lot out of DJ Moore. Last year, I thought he was one of the top guys, and just he had a lot of targets. He was kind of one of those utility guys who you could count on, almost like a Julian Edelman type of guy. They just haven't had the quarterback there. So, I mean, not that he isn't a tantalizing, for lack of a better term, price on FanDuel, but just kind of stay away from anybody on Carolina, period, in my opinion, including McCaffrey and everybody else. So.
Yep, I don't mind that a bit. I like the fade on McCaffrey. That's funny that we're actually at a place where we are talking about that now. There is the transition of the coaches over there to think about. So there we could be seeing a completely different animal. But now when we're talking about a completely different animal and invest in the money that we're going to be talking about now, DJ Moore is definitely affordable, right? Like I can squeeze him into most lineups. I can understand him, but McCaffrey's definitely going to be paying up for hope that a coach will go in there and do better. And then that Baker Mayfield not being out there will also improve the situation. So I'm good with the fade on anytime I want to see it before I start putting my guys in there, especially on DFS. I hate getting goose eggs in DFS for that very reason. Real quick, too, we got Steve jumping in. He's saying, I'm a T2T fanatic. Make sure if you're listening to type that in there and put your Twitter handle on. It'll enter you in for a chance at $100 Fanatics gift card. So definitely get on there. Definitely want to go get that Fanatics stuff because, man, they've got all kinds of cool gear there. Real quick, also to bring it up, Have you guys been seeing all the trade talk about DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey? I've seen Buffalo's a really big target of Christian McCaffrey's, and I'm like, that'd be kind of cool because he'd get up there and he'd get 6 targets. Not 6 targets, sorry, 6
rushes
a game.
Yeah. There's a Bleacher Report from 2 hours ago reporting Bills, 49ers, Rams, and Broncos have shown interest in McCaffrey. It sounds like if Carolina really does decide to pull that trigger, they would package more to go with it to get rid of that salary too. So, the NFL, this isn't the NBA, right? Or even baseball, where these trade deadlines every year are pretty insane. It would be pretty crazy to see McCaffrey getting dealt at the deadline. And
yeah,
I mean, you put McCaffrey on the Bills. I don't even know. I don't even understand I don't understand how anybody gives them a game if they're healthy all year, if you add McCaffrey to that. But you could say the same thing. 49ers, Rams. I mean, the Rams need some consistency in their running game. Akers isn't even playing this week. The Broncos need consistency everywhere. So, man, that's a trade that would tilt the power immediately if it happens. Mikey's on mute. Oh, no, he's not on mute. We can't hear him.
We can get into the who we're paying up for, I suppose, there, Joseph, if you want to kick us off on that one.
Yeah, I'll get Mikey. You there? Can we hear you now? Nope, can't hear him. Now he's on mute. Now you're muted. But yeah, let's start for paying up. And we're talking about this Buffalo Kansas City game, and I'll stay right there. I am paying up, and we've already said it all. Mace, you just said it. I'm paying up for Josh Allen, 8,200. I mean, Josh Allen, to Mikey's point, has been having nightmares about this Kansas City game from last year for 11 months now, and this is going to be his shot. He put 39 points up home against Pittsburgh last week, 24, 30, 32, 33. No reason to think why Josh Allen wouldn't go for another 30-plus week.
He's hot fire right now.
In the game of the week.
Yeah.
So I am paying up for Josh Allen, and then I'm paying up for Travis Kelsey. Same game, different side, right? Kelsey, 33 last week, 24 the week before. He's been at 24 plus 3 out of the 5 weeks. So I'm going to flex him 7,800 at the tight end. I'm going to put him in flex so I can still buy a cheap tight end to get that salary balance. If you put Kelsey in the tight end spot, you're kind of screwing yourself because you're taking away a cheaper slot there, and then you still got to fill your flex. If you want to play Kelsey, you understand right off the bat from a DFS perspective, you want to put him in the flex so you can still spend 3,300, get a Hayden Hurst, and level out that salary.
Love it. Love that strategy. And just to let you know, Trey, we definitely do. We'll answer all your redraft questions, no problem. We're actually looking at 3/5 of the Blitz crew right here. So
let's do it. What you got?
That's what we do best, is that redraft stuff. Jeff, who you paying up for this week?
So I got a couple of guys that I'm paying up for. And, I always like to do a couple different lineups. One's my regular lineup. One's my stack lineup. I think a popular one, obviously, this week is going to be a Buffalo, Kansas City kind of stack DFS lineup. But so many people are going to be doing that one. I want to steer more towards the Arizona-Seattle game, which has a pretty high over-under, too. I think it'll be a higher scoring game. I'm paying up for Kyler Murray, 8,300 at Seattle. I get it. It's in Seattle. It's a hostile environment. Kyler Murray always plays better on the road. Seattle's defense is not what they used to be. I expect probably a big game from Kyler Murray this week. And also, at running back, I'm paying up for Dalvin Cook at Miami on FanDuel. He's 8,300. I realize that Dalvin Cook has not been the Dalvin Cook that he has been in the past. He has not had a 100-yard game this season, but he's certainly due for a breakout game. Miami has the 22nd ranked rushing defense in the league. I think this is the game that Dalvin Cook is due. So I think those two guys at those two positions I'm paying up for this week, Mike.
I love it. I love it. So the guys I'm going for right now, and I have to concur on Josh Allen, because if you're not playing Josh Allen in your lineup, you better be playing Kyler Murray. is all I have to say about that. Like, because getting Josh, you just got to get that guy. He's going to score the most out of all the quarterbacks. Definitely worth paying up for. But the other two guys that I'm going to be paying up for is Ramondre Stevenson at 7,500. Yep. This guy loves doing one thing in his career so far, and that is abusing Cleveland. He loves to beat up on Cleveland. He gets touchdowns. No Damian Harris that's going to be in the way this week, guys. So it's going to be full on Ramondre Stevenson. We may see a little bit of backing him up and spelling him out, but I do really like him this week. And then the other guy I'm paying up for at 7,600 is Debo Samuel. The 49ers are getting him the ball in a lot of different scenarios. I'm liking it. I got to get that guy going. So I got Debo Samuel in there as my my other pay up guy. Joe, why don't you go ahead and kick us off? I know you kicked us off on the last segment anyways, but actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and help Trey here. He says, beautiful. He says he needs help with a couple of questions, full PPR. We're starting 3 with at least one having to be a wide receiver. We got Judy, Boyd, Breece Hall, Singletary, or Zeke. And I'll go ahead and let you lead this one off, Jeff.
Start 3 with at least one being a wide receiver. I mean, so if one has to be, I'll tell you, if one has to be a wide receiver, I'm leaning towards Boyd being that wide receiver because, I mean, Denver just has not been what we expected Denver to be. And I think that Jamar Chase is garnering so much attention that Boyd's getting his opportunities. And I think Boyd will have a pretty good opportunity this week. They're at New Orleans. New Orleans, maybe not necessarily the best defense, but not the worst. But for at least consistency, I think Joe Burrow has been better than Russell Wilson at distributing the ball. So I'm going to have to go with Boyd if you're going one wide receiver. And then you got to go Breece Hall because of consistency. As far as the other two, Singletary or Zeke, I don't like those options. I'm leaning Zeke only because Josh Allen takes so many opportunities away that I'm leaning Zeke, especially, if you got Cooper Rush at quarterback, there's going to be a little bit more opportunities for Pollard and Zeke. That's the way I'm leaning with those 3.
Okay, so we're sitting Judy, we're sitting Singletary.
Yep.
What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think this one. So I think this leans on Higgins is a game time decision tomorrow for Cincinnati. If he's not playing, I love Boyd as the number 2. He's going to get some of Higgins' targets. Again, he's their slot guy. Chase is commanding so much attention, all those things. So if there's no Higgins, I think this is a no-brainer with Boyd and Hall for sure. And then Singletary or Zeke is tough. I don't love the way the game plan is going to end up for Dallas against Philly, where I don't know if that's going to aid Zeke in getting a lot of touches. Singletary's such a crapshoot, but he's got a shot to get in the end zone. If Higgins does not play, I'm going Boyd, Hall, and Singletary. If Higgins plays and it sounds like he's going to, be his normal self, it's tough. I guess I'm going to go Judy, Hall, and Singletary if Higgins plays, and then Boyd, Hall, Singletary if Higgins sits.
I actually like that. But I'm actually going to lean myself. I'm going to be going with Boyd for sure, just because I do believe Higgins, even if he does come back, it'll be in a minor capacity. Breece Hall, and then give me Zeke. I think Zeke. I like Singletary. I do. I just wish he'd get a little bit more involved in the running game. Like I said, 6 touches a game is about the average that you're going to see out of a Buffalo running back. That's why I'm like, why would anybody get excited about Christian McCaffrey going to Buffalo? Maybe they change up the game plan, but God, I'd love to see him go to Denver because that's where he belongs. We got last one, full PPR. He says start 2 with at least one having to be a wide receiver. We got Olave, we got Devontae Smith, we got Etienne, we got Kareem Hunt, and AJ Dillon. Thanks, fellas. Joe, we'll lead this one off.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So, man, I'll tell you, it's hard to ignore, and I don't remember off the top of my head his exact line last week. It's starting to get hard to ignore Olave, even though I'm not a huge fan. But Olave is also questionable tomorrow. Is he still in concussion protocol? He has not cleared concussion protocol yet. So you got to watch out tomorrow for
I
Olave.
I'd say he's probably not playing. Like, if he hasn't cleared it by today, he's probably not playing.
That being said, he's double digits 4 games in a row, so I definitely put Olave in. Assuming he's not playing, you're obviously going to go Devontae Smith there. Man, running back, that's a tough one. I would want to go Hunt if not for that matchup. I guess I'd probably still play it safe and go Hunt. I don't know. That's a real tough one on the running backs.
It is.
I guess I'd go Hunt because he's probably got the best shot of sniffing the end zone. What do you guys think?
I like that. I actually, because you might just be, like I said, I'm playing Olave if he can clear it for some odd reason that they clear it on a Sunday, which I don't know that it's been a while since I've seen that, if I've seen it. So for me, I'm going to say Devontae Smith there. And I don't mind really playing Devontae Smith either in that Cowboys matchup. I think the wide receiver 2 is going to be the guy who's going to be able to get this game, be the difference maker in the game. I really like what I've been seeing out of Etienne out of the last couple of weeks as well. He's been getting more and more involved. Robinson's going to eat, that's the facts of the matter. He's going to eat, but you're looking at 3 different situations where the guy's going to be eaten, and it's not going to be these guys that are featured in that situation. So for me, I like Kareem Hunt in a negative game script. I love playing Kareem Hunt in negative game script. So I'm going to actually lean with Hunt right here as well.
I try to flip some of those running backs for a upgrade trade wise if we're talking league real quick. Sorry,
I kind of agree with that. I in my opinion, I'd be going Smith regardless, just because I can't roll with anybody that has Andy Dalton starting at quarterback. So that's just one thing. AJ Dillon has been an enormous disappointment. It just seemed like he'd be getting more productive carries, more times in the end zone. He just hasn't got it. Just Aaron Jones has been the guy. He's breaking it off for 15, 20 yards all the time. AJ Dillon's an afterthought. Kareem Hunt almost seems to be in a similar situation. I know that Etienne's kind of in that situation too, but being a rookie, he's gotten fewer, targets ahead of, starting the year. Seems to be getting more attention now. Had 10 rushing attempts and 5 targets last week. I think he's going to become more involved in the offense as they go along because he's a good player. They liked him from the start. Robinson obviously is an asset, so they'll split some time, but just seems what Chubb's the guy, Hunt's the afterthought. Etienne almost splits time, so I'd say Smith and Etienne, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't mind it. I like Etienne a lot. It was really close between him and Hunt, so I don't think you can lose. I think you're looking about the same performance out of either guy, but I just lean Hunt. Like I said, I like Hunt in negative game scripts. That's one DFS play that seems to always pay off for me, so it's typically that it does me okay in redraft as well. And Trey says he's got one more question for us. He says, one more. Is Tua worth a stash for next week? Russell is my quarterback in this given league, and we all know he has been. Tua's been on fire when he's on the field.
He's starting next week. They said it today.
Yep.
Yeah, so get Tua. Go grab Tua. I don't know that I would give up Russell Wilson because week 7 is when Russell picks. I don't know how many times in my fantasy football career I've picked up Russell Wilson off of waivers at week 6 or week 7 and went on to win championships because Russell Wilson just gets a spark under his butt and he starts lighting it up. I just can see it happening, but it would depend on who I got to drop. If I do have to drop Russell Wilson to grab Tua, I am okay with doing that. And I'm the number 1 Broncos fan. Joe, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. I do in general. And I also agree. I think Jeff's got a real nice play with Kyler Murray this week. I'm not a big Kyler Murray guy, but when you pick out the right matchups, and this is why we play DFS, right? We get to play these matchups each week. And I do think that's a real juice matchup for Murray against Seattle. Seattle can't stop a red light right now.
That's awesome. And Jeff, you also agree with that? We're dropping Tua. We're dropping Russell Wilson. We're grabbing Tua.
That's a no-brainer in my opinion.
Gotcha. I like it. So Trey, hopefully we helped you out. He says he appreciates the insight and good luck this week, and definitely good luck to you. Our man Steve jumping in there. And remember, Trey, hop on there, say I'm a T2T fanatic, and drop us your Twitter handle. and we'll get you entered into that Fanatics $100 gift card giveaway. And Steve agrees with us. He says Higgins may not play, so definitely go with Boyd. Steve, I'm still mad at you for taking Cooper Kupp from me. There might not ever be a time that I'm not mad at Steve for the rest of our fantasy football lives because he stole Cooper Kupp from me. I don't think you understand how much I love Cooper Kupp. We got Nino. He says, DFS boys, gang. What's happening, Nino? We love you, man. Talk about a hard-working son of a gun right there is that Nino. That guy's constantly doing pretty much everything on this channel. You guys might see us talking, but it's really Nino talking. And we're just sitting here being kind of the talking heads because Nino does everything at TTT. We love you, man. Definitely appreciate you. So, Joe, let's go ahead and kick it off with your lineup. Who are you playing this week? What do you got? You got the DraftKings lineup. What do you got? What are you throwing out there?
Yes, we do. So we are paying up for Josh Allen. The guy's averaging 32 DraftKings points a week, and all fireworks we're all expecting from that Buffalo KC game, 8,200. We're going, I'm already in for a minute ago, and it feels like he's on like the slower Breece Hall plan of phasing him in slowly from the beginning. I mean, Hall at this point, 30 points last week, 20 touches. The week before, 19 touches. So this guy, he has arrived. They're playing Green Bay. They're a decent defense, but no reason to think in a PPR situation that Hall can't have another 20-plus point week. We're taking advantage of the Damian Harris injury. Ramondre Stevenson, only 6,000 on DraftKings at Cleveland. The guy's gone for over 22 out of the last 3 weeks. That's with Harris in the lineup. Obviously, without Harris now and no quarterback still, I'm loving Stevenson for going for 20 plus hopefully this week. Wide receivers to me real interesting this week. Not paying up for wideouts. My number one wideout for the week I'm gonna pair him with Josh Allen, and it's our good friend Gabe Davis. The guy took about, I think, at 106 last week. Gabe Davis was a phenomenal start as he caught a 98-yard touchdown on, I think, the second play of the game, first play of the game, then caught another one. Guy went for 171 and 2 TDs. Not expecting that necessarily, but gonna be a lot of throwing in that game. So I'm loving Gabe Davis. I think he can be number one wideout production, and he's only 6,500 on DraftKings. Then these other two wideouts, they're cheap, but I got to tell you, I'm loving the volume they're getting. We'll start in Indianapolis. Alex Pierce, he's only 4,300. Guy went for 8 catches on 9 targets last week. Went for 4 for 80 the week before. So I'm loving Alex Pierce at 4,300. And I'll give you another one. Jeff's playing Kyler Murray. Well, I hope he throws it to Rondale Moore. 4,200 for Moore. The guy's coming off 768 for 8 targets last week, had another 2 rushes. Although I will say his last 3 rushes has gone for a total of negative 11 yards. So let's not talk about him rushing wise too much. But again, double-digit points last week in his first real start. He's going to be lining up opposite Hollywood Brown once again. Seattle can't stop anybody. They made Detroit look like the freaking greatest show on turf a couple weeks ago. So I'm loving Rondale Moore at 4,200. Hayden Hurst, 3,300 tight end for Cincinnati. Double digits 2 weeks in a row. We'll go back to that Higgins injury. If Higgins doesn't play, that's just more potential targets for Hurst. So I'm really liking that at 3,300. Travis Kelsey, 7,800. I'm loving this lineup as I'm reading it. I got 3 guys out of 9 coming from that Buffalo KC game. Loving Kelsey for every reason that we already all know. And then I'm going to end it off with, the Bucs defense is at Pittsburgh. I'm actually excited for Pittsburgh in their future with Pickett and Pickens and Johnson and Harris. But getting to that excitement, we have already learned in a week and a half, there are going to be a lot of turnovers on the way there. So I'm loving that Tampa defense at 3,900, at Pittsburgh to pick on that kind of rookie Steeler offense.
That's kind of funny because like a lot of times we have a lot of overlap on this show. But it's always, like 1 or 2 or 3 guys, and that's it. Like, listen to my lineup right now. I've got Josh Allen in as the quarterback position at mine. It's a pay up at 9,200. I got Ramondre Stevenson, who's a pay up at 7,500. I got Breece Hall, who's a pay up at 7,100. I've got Alex Pierce at 5,900. I've got Gabe Davis at 6,900. Then we actually have one different pick. We finally have a different one. I got Boyd. I like Boyd tomorrow because I think Higgins is out. But just as if we're throwing the same curveball, I got Hayden Hurst, who's been impossible to ignore the past couple of weeks. I got him in at tight end. And then I got Debo Samuel in at my flex, not Travis Kelsey. And then I couldn't afford the Buccaneers defense is what I wanted. So I had to cheapen up and go with the Minnesota Vikings, who's got Miami, who is in shambles without Tua. So, Jeff, who do you got this week? Because that's crazy. I'm like, wow, we almost had almost the same exact line.
That's incredible.
Huh.
Oh, boys. Well, hey.
I saw you laughing, and I didn't while I was saying it, and I didn't know if it was a laughing over one guy or if it was the group. So that is that always makes me feel better. Mish, what are you doing there? What do you got?
Here's why I'm laughing. Okay. While I'll agree that you can go discount at wide receiver because you simply cannot go discount on running back this week. It doesn't go deep enough whatsoever at running back at all. It drops way off. Okay. So I said before, sorry. I said before that Matt Ryan has not been
up to AOL?
Obama administration. So the Alec Pierce pick, wow, I get the matchup. I mean, it's Matt Ryan throwing to him. Yeah. Anyways, so having said all that, that's why I'm laughing. Here's where I'm going. QB, I got Daniel Jones, 6,800. I know it's a bit of a value pick. Obviously, Josh Allen is the popular pick. I'm not going to disagree with that, of course. But Daniel Jones, just to save a little bit of money, plus he's going up against Baltimore, the 31st ranked passing defense in the league. Save a few bucks there. Jeff Wilson Jr., I got on FanDuel, 7,200 at Atlanta. He's been the go-to guy. He's been, to me, just phenomenal in San Francisco. I think he's going to be the guy going forward. We already talked about Dalvin Cook, 8,300 at Miami. I think he's due for a breakout game. This is going to be his week. I cannot disagree. Gabe Davis at Kansas City, 6,900. To me, that's probably the biggest value of the week is Gabe Davis there. Actually, aside from that is Mike Evans, 7,700 at Pitt. Now, Mike Evans is 18 targets the last 2 weeks. I mean, I think he's going to come up with an enormous game. That to me, 7,700 is an enormous value for Mike Evans. This is where I kind of drop down a little bit wise. I got Romeo Dobbs because I had to go a little bit more value wise versus the New York Jets, 5,500. It's kind of a crapshoot in Green Bay is who's going to be the guy. Romeo Dobbs seems to be like he's doing well. He's kind of on the up and coming. It's more of a flyer than anything else, for lack of a better term. Tight end, Mikey kind of proved it last week with Taysom Hill. I mean, he can be a tight end. He can be a quarterback. You don't know where he's getting touchdowns from. This guy he's who was that guy Slash who used to play quarterback for Pittsburgh? He's kind of like that. In any case, flex, I'm going Allen Robinson because I also agree this is going to be a breakout game for Matt Stafford. Finally, hopefully against the lowly Carolina Panthers. And then I'm going San Francisco at Atlanta, 4,700 defense. San Francisco's defense is a monster. Marcus Mariota can't hang. That's what we got. And I do a lot of hands. I realize that.
We have to do the robot when you got the robot noises going, man. Like somebody has to do the robot. And I remember when Cordell Stewart was the
I'll tell you real quick,
all out of Buffalo.
Yeah. Listening to all three of our lineups, Jeff had the Alex Pierce play that he didn't like, and I get that. I totally get it. But I liked literally, I want to go back and look at Boyd because I wanted Boyd in. I agree with Evans and Godwin, and I wanted to get Evans in. I mean, I really, and there are a lot of good matchups. So, I mean, it's hard to argue with some of these potential plays, but I feel like between the three of us, I feel like it's covered this week, whether we're talking cheap plays, who to pay up for, who to fade, who's expensive. It feels like the world is in unison. We are all namasteing together, and that is going to result in a lot of coin tomorrow, my friends.
I hope so. Definitely like the expectations I'm seeing there, and I definitely can tell you, I like seeing that when we show our slates at the end of the day, and all of us are winning not all this money because we're not doing this from our gold-plated yachts yet, but we're doing all right this season so far, and it's always nice to see that on the screenshots and stuff like that, the shares and things.
Yes, sir.
Where we just keep on tearing it up. So I mean, I definitely like it when I got a lineup pretty close to your guys', because it's seeming to be paying off this year. Everybody, make sure you follow us on all the platforms: Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, Twitch, Facebook, Spotify, all that fun stuff. Go to toiletstotitles.com. There's the best videos, articles, and the best NFL and fantasy content, and the best fantasy advice. Access to all of us. You can see all our Twitter follows and stuff like that. Make sure you guys give us a like and subscribe. Hit that bell. Give us a 5-star review, even if it's a mean review. You can say something mean on the review. We will read it. We have fun doing that kind of stuff. And we always like to improve. We like to hear it. But always give a 5-star review. Don't be a jerk. Like, always, people that give 1-star reviews are just jerks. They're not fun. Definitely get out there, get to patreon.com/toiletstotitles. There's the tier breakdowns. I'm telling you, man, the ones that have the Frankenstank, when you get that Frankenstank invite, it's so much fun. It's such a good time. $10 gets you into the Frankenstank for free. I think it's like $3 gets you just the invite, and it'll make you dance like a robot. I'm telling you, you're going to want to get in on this Patreon. The Discord on there is always popping. Oh, that's good stuff.
Do we really have no idea what this is?
What the buzzing is? Is that
sorry? That's my sister.
Do you know what that is? What is that?
It's my phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was Jeff's phone. It's cracking me up. Steve Evans definitely and definitely this is your last chance to go ahead and get on there and say I'm a T2T fanatic with your Twitter handle to get entered into that Fanatics gift card. And do either one of you guys have anything to add before we say goodnight there, Joe or Jeff?
I appreciate everybody. Thanks very much.
I would just say, yes. I would just say, watch the injuries. There's a lot. I was just looking real quick from T. Higgins to there's a lot of game time, decisions out there tomorrow. So really important. And I know we'll cover it on the Blitz, but got to be educated.
Yep, definitely want to get out there at 10 or 10:30 in the morning and catch us with the Blitz. That's another reason why to hit that bell right there so you can figure out when we're going on. And we'll definitely go in depth on all these injury reports, and we'll have you guys where we want you and get you set up to win the week. And until next week, guys, we will catch you next time. For me, Jeff, Joe, thank you, everybody. And you guys have a good weekend, and we will see you in about 12 hours.